Hi there, welcome to this video where I'm at Etherow Country Park. So I've never been to this reserve before. I had a little Google last night just to find a different nature reserve, and I came up with this one that's actually not very far away from where I live, and I'd never even heard of it before. And it looks really interesting. There's a couple of lakes, there's some woodland, and there's an interesting looking weir further into the reserve. So I'm going to have a little explore today. I've got my long lens with me and my wider lens as well, so I can do some landscape photography or some wildlife photography, whatever presents itself. It's just going to be a little bit of fun, and I know that I'm really going to enjoy my photography. Over on the lake just here, by the car park, there's quite a lot of species of birds. There's some grey-lag geese just swimming past, there's some moot swans just out over on the water, I've seen some coots, lots of different ducks, and so it's going to be quite interesting as I get deeper into the reserve. Etherow Country Park was established in 1968 and was one of Britain's first country parks. Now, it was built on the former estate of George Andrew, who built Compston Mill in 1820. The park is a place where people can come and enjoy the wildlife, the natural beauty and the rich heritage. Just here on the path behind me is a Muscovy duck, and it's only about 10 to 15 meters away. This lens is really making it seem a lot further away, and there's an angler just about 5 meters away from it, and it's not bothering at all. So clearly the wildlife here are very tame. So I've taken a photograph of that. I'm going to have to walk carefully past it. It'll probably move as I go past, but you never know, it may not. Now, clearly the reason why these birds are so tame is that there are people that come here specifically to feed them, and this particular guy that I've just seen has got a huge bag and the birds are feeding out of his hand. So that's why they're clearly so happy to just mill around without wandering off. I've got a moorhen about 6 feet away from me at the moment as I speak. Now, clearly the bird life here are so tame because they're used to getting fed. I've got Canada geese just here. There's one coming into frame now, right on the water. And bizarrely as well, there's lots of female mandarin ducks, but I haven't seen one male. Now, the males are really attractive. They're very vivid, bright colours. Now, there must be some reason why I've not seen one yet, despite seeing loads of female mandarin ducks. Maybe if I keep my eye out, I will see one. Now, all the way along the side of this path and the lake, there are these stone steps just here that are designed, I think, for anglers to use while they're fishing, but it makes for a great opportunity to sit and watch the wildlife on the lake and the path and just practice your photographic skills just while you are getting close to the birds themselves. And yes, they're not truly wild because they are used to being fed, so they're sort of semi-tame and domesticated, but even so, it's still really good fun and just nice being able to be this close to the birds. So I've come away from the lakes and I'm now on a path that's winding through more of a woodland. Now to my right there's a fast-moving river, and to my left just here there's what appears to be some kind of canal, or it's certainly some kind of man-made waterway because it's not flowing at all. But unfortunately I'm not hearing any bird life at all. Just every so often just a very faint hint of a little bird call, but it doesn't seem to be teeming with bird life out here in the wood, unfortunately. So seeing anything out here might prove to be a little bit challenging. Well, hopefully you can hear me over the noise of this weir because it is quite loud, and it has been difficult to photograph because I can't get far enough away from it because of where this bridge is, and even with my widest angle lens at 24mm, I've only just about been able to get it in the frame. But what I've done is I've tried several different shutter speeds, one to freeze the water and one to make the water stretch out and go a little bit more milky. I personally prefer the slightly more stretched out shutter speeds of about 1/8 of a second, just to make the water drag out. But you let me know what you think. Now I've come a little bit further into the country park, and you can possibly still hear the weir in the background, but thankfully I'm starting to hear a lot more bird calls in this part of the wood. I haven't actually seen any just yet, but if I take my time and keep my eye out, I might end up seeing some, and hopefully even photograph one or two. Now I am struggling a little bit today because it's quite overcast, there isn't much light, and so taking photographs of birds, particularly in woodland, is really tricky because I can't get the shutter speed high enough. So I've come off the path just a little bit, only about 3 or 4 meters, but I've seen this clearing here where the light is a little bit better. So I've waited a little while, hopefully to see some birds, and I did hear a nuthatch up in the top of one of the trees. Unfortunately, it didn't really present very well to have its photograph taken because it was on the top of a branch for most of the time. So I doubt that I've got a very good photograph of that. But I'm going to stay here a little bit longer, and hopefully something might appear in this clearing here behind me. Well, sadly, despite spending about 20 minutes here, all that I've really seen was that brief sighting of the nuthatch. Nothing else has appeared, so I think I'm going to wander a bit further. Taking pictures of birds like this in a woodland is a very hit and miss process. You have to really take your time. I've been stood here now by the side of this river for about 15 minutes. I've heard a wren over the other side, I've not seen it, and my bird identification app says that there's tree creepers and goldcrests about. Now I have seen a few birds just flitting about in the top of the canopy, but unfortunately none of them have landed in a place where I can take the photograph, and so it is a lot of luck really more than anything. If one of them was to land in a place where you can take the photograph. Now there are certain things that you can do. You can watch for behaviours. A bird might be revisiting a certain branch, but you have to spot it doing that in the first place. And as of yet, I've only had very brief glimpses right through the top of the trees. And so I think I'm going to probably move on again, but all the time keeping my eyes and ears open for signs of more bird life. I'm now as deep into the country park as I can get. I'm now going to be returning back towards the car. I've got about 1.25 miles through this woodland still to go. And as of yet, I've not really got any spectacular photographs, despite being here for about 4.5 hours. And that's the way it goes sometimes in wildlife photography. I got loads of pictures of those birds on the pond as I started because they were really tame. But actually out in the woodland, it's been really tricky, partly because we're in the middle of summer and the leaf canopy is very dense. And I've just not been lucky enough to see a bird land in a place where I can photograph it. I've seen lots of birds and I've certainly heard even more, but hopefully, fingers crossed, on the way back to the car I might still see something. These are some large acorns. Now, I do normally like to end the video with something a little bit special, but unfortunately today I haven't actually seen anything that will really stand out. I've had a great time wandering around this new place. Perhaps if I came back at a different time of year when the leaf canopy wasn't so dense, I might stand a little bit of a better chance. But it is important to remember that you will not always get great photographs every single time that you go out. What is more important is just spending time out in nature and just really enjoying yourself. And if you go with that attitude, then you can't be disappointed. And I certainly have had a great time this morning. If you have enjoyed this video, do let me know down below in the comments or over at my Instagram or Etherow account. That's at Darrell Oakden Photography. And you can also see lots of my photographs. If you would like to support me to make future content like this, then you can leave via the gift shop over at Teespring. There I've got a range of merchandise on offer, so go and check that out. But you don't have to spend any money at all to support the channel. You can do that simply by clicking like, subscribe and the bell notifications, because it really helps me out and it makes sure that you don't miss out on any future content. Watch out for next week's video, that goes live on Sunday. In the meantime, you can check out this video just up here, but all that's left now is to say stay safe and I'll see you soon.